Yeah, hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Then I've got man like Palms, Seni. But I know we're all excited to start at United, but let's start at Chelsea, man. Because I think we need to talk about Chelsea right now. What's going on at Chelsea? After the performance they had against Arsenal, we all thought like they will come good or they will put those performance like when they play better teams, especially at home, but they lost in a 2-0 at home to Brentford. I'll start with Palms. What do you make of the game?
The Chelsea game.
Yeah, the Chelsea game.
Chelsea, man. Like after last week's performance against you guys, Arsenal, I thought, okay, they've turned the corner, but it's the same old Chelsea, man. I just think their fans need to be realistic. This is like this is a 3, 4, maybe 5 year job. They're not gonna win any trophies right now. They may not get top four. I don't think they'll get top four this season, top five. So they need to, yeah, they need to be patient because these guys are young as well. So it's a 5 year job.
Yeah,
That's
it
their
is.
plan, and that's what the ownership wants. That's what the ownership wants anyway. So I don't know. I don't know if they gonna sack the manager because how can you get him young players that are not even over 25, bar maybe one or two, and then
Mm.
you want instant results? I don't. Yeah, Chelsea just need to calm down, sit on the side, man.
Yeah, what about you, Seni?
Yeah, um, Chelsea's performance against Arsenal it wasn't impressive because Arsenal were very poor, so the bar wasn't very high. So we saw as soon as they made a couple of mistakes, they just fell apart as a team. So I didn't think they were gonna do any better after that game. If I'm honest with you, I didn't see anything that was um, a spark in that game. To be quite honest, fair enough, they were better than Arsenal, but Arsenal were very very poor on the day.
Mm-hmm.
So against Brentford, it just highlighted exactly um, how you know how much Chelsea are far behind everyone challenging right now. They're far behind Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, and even Tottenham. To be quite honest, so they like Palm would have said, they just need to stick with the team they have at the moment. It's going to take time to build and get to where they want to get to, but I understand the fans are going to be frustrated because they've spent £1 billion on that team. So it's not just going to gel direct straight away and directly in on the pitch. So there's a lot of places where relationships need to be built on the pitch, and chemistry needs to develop between positions. So it's not there yet. They just need to be patient and see stick with their manager. If I'm honest.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to have this guy most on the panel because I wanted to hear him say things about Chelsea because he's still like I think Bible is one of the realistic fans about for me Chelsea. Some of these Chelsea fans in the group because they like
Should
to
I give
give
him
me
a ring?
like I'm sorry.
Should I give him a ring? Who's that? Is that him? Oh, there he is. Sadie's best friend.
Yeah, there he is, man. Most we're talking about Chelsea. I know you like to give it, but come on, tell us about your performance, man.
Tell us about your
Big,
football club, bro.
You know what
you
it
know.
is here? We don't fight over here, man. Win, lose or draw, gonna show up.
We show up.
Cause you
We
know
show
what?
up, man.
And
Cause
that's
you
what I
know
like.
why? Turn. I want you to keep the same energy. I want to
Mm.
see you there when you're going through it. But we'll talk about it still.
Now we're talking about Chelsea anyway. We'll come to United. Don't worry. Just quickly, we're not gonna stay too much on these topics, because we got just an hour to stream, so
Can you guys hear me?
40 minutes to an hour. Yeah, we can see. Yeah, go ahead.
Um, what's there to say, man? It's very disappointing. The same thing I've been saying about Chelsea for so long, yeah. We all this possession, all this ball play, no attackers, no finishers, and this is the Premier League, man. If you don't take your chances, you will get punished. And I've seen it happen to us so many times. We get punished by teams. You know what? Yeah, when we went into halftime and it was 0-0, I got worried because that's when I thought, we might end up losing here. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what the solutions are. Um, but It was just bad, man. It was just bad. I'm now starting to look at. We got a new set of attackers. I was expecting a bit more from Jackson. I didn't get that. But I still stand by what I said that we're not far off Arsenal. And I know, Saini, you think that's
Hey,
mad, but
Mus, before you came on, I said like it's a 5-year plan. Like, do you agree? I think you lot got a 5-year plan in it.
we definitely have a plan. I mean, it's a process, and this is something I'm borrowing from Arsenal, seeing how long it took theirs. But I don't think our process is gonna take as long as Arsenal's one took. That's why I'm saying we're not far off Arsenal, because for me, I'm still seeing we're doing a lot of things right. And yes, you can look at the results and be like, yeah, Chelsea lost again. But unless you're taking it into context, like the way we're playing, and we're dominating teams, we're not scoring goals, and I just feel like we're one or two players, attacking players, away from like just completing. And I completely have faith in Poch as well, and I don't think any Chelsea player is saying Poch out right now. So yeah, man, we're not far off. In fact, I think we are. Yeah, I think we're closer than you think. We're very close, man.
Bro, I
But-
think you need to have a look at the table before you say that.
Yeah, bro. You know what it is? Yeah, it's like our thing is more long term in it. So I'm not really stressing about the position that we're in right now. I'm just looking at whether the team is gelling, how the performance is, and of course I want the goals to come in. But I'll take it as long as I can just see the players fighting for the manager. There's some sort of pattern of play that I'm seeing, and I'm seeing a playing style, and I think these kind of things, they take time in it. So I still have faith in Poch, which is mad, because before he came in I wasn't like a big Poch fan, but now I'm more convinced than I was before.
I'm gonna ask you a question, right?
Mm.
What's the spine of the Chelsea team?
Mm.
There you
The
go.
spine.
There you go.
I
You know,
I would say it's a bit early to tell, because we're still figuring a lot of things out.
that's why I say you're far off, because to be in a position where you're competing, you need to have a spine. Yeah, you need to have players. Yeah, from the back to the striker, players in position where you build your team around, and you say, right, these players are my go-to guys. These are who will lead the team.
This is the thing. You're forgetting one thing
You don't
here. Like with
don't even have
Chelsea,
that yet.
we've had a lot of injuries. It's very hard to sort of like get that momentum going when you constantly getting players injured and then from coming up. I would say just hold on to that thought until we have all of our players back here, because we just got Reece James back and Kunku is still out. We've got Badiashile, Fofana. Like we at one point we had like 9 or 10 players out, so it was very difficult. Sometimes I don't know who's gonna play. So with the players that we have out and the young players that we have in now, I think it's normal. There's going to be inconsistency anyway with young players, but at this stage of our process, I still think I'm seeing enough to sort of like believe that we will get it right. And I know it's just a matter of time. That's why I'm not stressing too much. So, but when we do, I got so many screenshots.
But anyway, moving on. I want to just say, I think me, Mus, I get what you're saying. I agree with you that maybe the progress of Arsenal it takes longer than Chelsea one, and it would. And I think you might be right for that, because you lot spend more money than Arsenal. You will spend more money as well going forward, right?
Yeah.
So, but in terms of the style of football and all this, and the settle, like the structure of the team right now, I don't think you guys are nowhere. You know, nowhere near Arsenal. For me, that's my opinion anyway. But moving on, we're gonna move quickly because we just got 1 hour to stream here. We'll move on to Tottenham. Sorry, what do you guys think of Tottenham's results on Friday night?
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Tottenham, bro. Like I said, yeah, Tottenham are in the title race. I mean, no, not in the title race. They're gonna challenge. That don't mean that they're gonna be near there towards the end of the season, but they're gonna challenge because, yeah, I only say that because, bro, they have a game a week. And this manager, do you know what it is? I heard someone on the radio say that if it comes down to a shootout at the end of the season between Tottenham and Arsenal, they fancy, and this wasn't a fan, this was a journalist, a German journalist. He said Ange has more experience than Arteta to see the title through. And then, because he's like, a lot of
I think
people
he's talking, sorry for cutting. I think he's talking rubbish because number one, Ange hasn't got experience. He doesn't know the league well.
Oh, hold on, let me finish. All right.
But that was the trigger right there, man.
Yeah, I know it's a trigger. Hold on. Let me finish though. This is the reason why I'm saying it. Like, we as fans are just seeing Ange now, innit? Like, but Ange has been managing for nearly 35 years, by the way. Like, he did not start now. He quit as a bank manager like 30 years ago, and he went to Japan. That's where he learned his trade. And then he managed in Australia as well, where he's from, and obviously recently Celtic. So I know it's the Prem. People are gonna say, yeah, but it's the Prem. But football's football. Like, experience, he has. If we're just talking about experience, just forget about the teams that they manage. Ange does have more experience than Arteta, right? Like that's just facts. That's just facts.
Yeah, experience,
anyway,
experience-wise,
yeah. So that's what that guy was talking about. The guy was saying,
but having if you like as a manager, if you got experience and you're not having trophies, those experience count.
Are you talking about
What
Ange's
trophy?
trophy? Ange has won trophies in Japan, Australia, Celtic. So we can't talk about.
Wait. Ange has more trophies there. What are they one of the top 5 leagues in the world right
but
now?
It doesn't matter. That's what he was working with. It doesn't matter. That's what he was working with. You asked about
trophies. Listen, Arteta has trophy. Arteta have a trophy. Won a trophy in his first season of Arsenal.
That's fine. That's one. Ange has like 15.
But Ange needs to prove in Europe. He hasn't proven in Europe yet.
All right, that's well, Celtic is Europe, so I don't know. Like, Arsenal improved it in Europe.
Add, when Wenger came to Arsenal, he was working in Japan. And no one knew who he was.
Yep.
So
yeah.
Anyway, for me to finish up Tottenham, bro, like, obviously they're gonna lose Basuma and Papsa, but what it is like the other day they had a Bentancur back. Quality baller. And for all the fans that are saying, oh, I can see a playing style with Ange, but I can't see a playing style with Ten Hag. You got to realize Tottenham last season had a director of football with Conte, and he made excellent signings. First one was that left back from Udinese, the black guy, Udogu, quality baller. The second one was Bentancur, he made as well. And the third one he made was Kulusevski. Yeah, so Tottenham have the players there. They're young enough. They're ready to learn. And the players that are at Tottenham, they ain't been there for 10 years, 15 years, apart from maybe Son and Kane, but he's gone. So he has something to work with. So that's why I said, for me, one game a week, these guys can focus on that game and get a result because they will play better football than most teams in the league.
Yeah, but the question I want to ask, have anybody seen Tottenham when they lose? How Ange is gonna react, or how these teams are gonna react?
No, because they ain't lost yet. We have to wait and see. They ain't lost yet.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said. That's why I put the question out there. That everybody's saying they're gonna be in the title race. Being in the title race, how many points you need to be behind to be in the title race? I'm asking that question out there.
Let me just give you a context. Arsenal. This is Arsenal's best start. I think ever.
Arsenal.
But Tottenham, but Tottenham are still ahead of them. That's just a context, isn't it?
No, listen, you haven't answered my question. My question is...
What's your question then?
Arsenal's best...
Exactly. Wait, I'm coming. My question is, to be in a title race, how many points you need to be behind Man City for you to believe that they are in the title race? Like, because you said they're in the title race. I mean, you said they're in the title race, but you think...
No, I said they're challenging.
They're gonna drop off. That's what you said.
No, if you listen properly, I said they're gonna challenge, but that don't mean they're gonna be in a title race come end of the season. You can challenge in the middle of the season. You can be there up till Feb. You know what I'm saying? March. It doesn't mean you're in the title race. It's too early to say anyone's in the title race.
That's why I said that's why I put the question out there. That's why I put the question out there. How many points they need to be behind for you to believe? Yeah.
I'm not a Premier League mathematician. I'm not going to talk about how
No, I'm asking. Wait.
I'm asking your opinion. The way they're playing right now.
I'm asking your opinion. For me, to be in the title race, title race starts from 11 or 12 games to go, right? And then, if the team above you wins the league 5 points, 4 points, 3 points, for me, that's title race, or even maybe 7 points, you're in the title race. But if Man City, 1 minute, if Man City win the league and you are yes, you did well first half of the season, and you were 15 or 20 points behind. For me, that's not a title challenge.
Now, 100%. But I just
Yeah.
want to say this thing, yeah. The reason why I'm saying they're going to
The fans
challenge
said
is
they cannot
because
join.
they have less chances for their players to get injured. When
Mm.
you lot and us lot carry on playing in Europe, the more chances your big players are going to get injured. Tottenham, they ain't got to play midweek. So this is why I'm saying, because everyone's talking about like Mus just said, injuries. Yeah, if Arsenal were to have 2 or 3 injuries, Saliba, just take Saliba out. Yeah, we saw what happened last season, and you can't tell me that Ben White is a replacement for Saliba. You can't tell me Kivio is a replacement for Saliba. So, like, all I'm saying is because they have 1 game a week. And by the way, the Arsenal stats say me, it might have said for 16 years or ever. Like, you guys should check it. I'll post it in the group. Yeah.
We had the same.
What I want to say quickly, well, you see this
We had
conversation
the
has gone
same.
from Tottenham to Arsenal. We're basing it on Tottenham. Now, Sani, what do you make of Tottenham? Because we're going to come to Arsenal.
Yeah, it responds to what Modu said. Yeah, this 1 game a week doesn't mean anything. We saw Arsenal do it last season.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And they fell off.
It
It's
means
all about
I can tell-
it's all about keeping up your team challenging and being hungry, as well as having your players available. Or
Didn't Saliba get injured against Sporting?
let me finish 2 seconds.
Mm.
Or having that squad depth. Everyone say Man City have this experience of taking it all the way. You can't compare Man City to any other team because of the squad they have. They have 2 world-class players in every single position. The drop-off is never that big of a gap. Arsenal didn't have it last season. That's why they fell off when Partey, Saliba, Jesus, and Saka either got injured or burnt out. That was our downfall last season. Tottenham, their spine this season is Song, yeah, Madison, Basuma, and what's his name? Van der Ven.
Van der Ven, yeah.
That's and their keeper Vicario. If they lose, like you said, they're losing Papa Sarr and Basuma to AFCON. Song is also going to the Asia Cup. That's 3 of their most important players in the team. Who's coming in to replace them? You've got Højbjerg, you've got Richarlison up top. That's coming in. So as of January, we'll see how they respond to that. They might still win their games. You never know. We'll see how they respond to that before you say
they might sign players.
They might sign players as well. But
they
that's
got money.
what I have to say with this whole one week game or experience.
Wait, 1 minute. People are saying that, oh yeah, they might sign players when they get to January. We have seen this from Tottenham. Daniel Levy. There's a year that Pochettino was struggling. He need players in January to go out there and win. That year that City, Leicester won the league. They didn't sign players. I don't believe.
Let me
I don't
answer
believe that this
let me answer that.
or this owner of this owner
Let me
Daniel
answer
Levy will go out there.
Let me come back. Let me come back. Okay.
I don't believe that.
All right, that's fine. You're just having a rant based on like for.
No, it's not having a rant.
Let me just give an objective response.
What I'm saying, actual most. What I'm saying is enough facts. We've seen it.
This is different. If Tottenham are top 3, if Tottenham are top 2, top 3 come Jan, yeah, he's gonna sign players, bro. This is. Don't you think Daniel Levy wants success? It's only because they have not been able. When was the last time Tottenham were in this situation? The last time they were saving for a stadium. What are you talking about? They couldn't spend.
What do you mean they couldn't spend? You think the money that they spend? Pounds. You think the money they spend it came from their bank? They use the Kane money. What are you on about? They spend this money on Kane's money.
And they haven't spent the Kane money like that. Where did they spend the Kane money? Tell me.
They buy Madison. They bought Madison. How much?
No, that wasn't the Kane money. That was not Kane money. Kane went later.
How do you know? How do you know?
Oh, come on,
Tottenham don't spend money.
Come
on,
don't
spend money. Wait,
so you're telling me Tottenham budget is 90 million, 80 million?
Until January, Daniel Levy comes out. This same Tottenham fans here, they're always running their mouth about Daniel Levy. They don't believe this guy will go out there and buy the players and the manager. Pochettino was there. Pochettino was their most successful manager.
Can I just say
he didn't back him. Come on, he didn't back him. So I don't see any evidence that shows me that this manager, this Tottenham team will go to January and then Daniel Levy will get players for this money. I don't believe that. And
we have to wait and see. We have to wait and see.
Like I don't. For me, there's a lot of similarities between Arsenal and Tottenham, and I don't even know how, like, you don't see it because you remember when Arsenal built their stadium, you couldn't spend any money, and then you were struggling for a long time. Tottenham went through the same thing, but now, like, it's just as simple as, for me, if Arsenal are in the title race, then you can't overlook Tottenham, because we're what, is it 9 or 10 games in? So really, both teams right now, you can only judge on the performance so far, and I just don't think you can rule Tottenham out. The only thing that I have is this Spurs mentality, which again, I don't think Arsenal are too far off that mentality either, because I thought when really it gets to like the business end of the season, I don't know if you have enough.
No, but one thing Arsenal have is most one thing Arsenal have right now, they have better experience than Tottenham. That's facts. Because Arsenal,
that's
yes, last season, one minute, last season they went all the way. Yes, they didn't win it, but they got experience. They know now where they stopped from last season, and the mentality will raise. Tottenham, they don't have there. We haven't seen this Tottenham team go up to that standard. But that's my point.
Okay, I disagree. You can't base a title challenge over experience, like I've been saying.
No. I'm saying I'm not saying experience. I'm saying like,
let me finish it. We've seen Leicester City do it, and they didn't have the experience to do it. But what helped them was let me mention this to you. It's about the availability of your key players. We saw when Leicester City done it, they had Mahrez, they had Jamie Vardy firing on all flanks throughout the whole season. So forget this experience business. It doesn't work. It does help you in a sense that it helps players manage team.
No. I was going. Sorry, I misquoted the words. I was going. Say it. I was going to use mentality, not experience.
Two seconds. Let me just finish. Yeah. And then that's very important. Availability is key in this title race. And then can't call a title race until after Christmas, because right now you can have 10 strong performances, and you're top of the league. Come after Christmas, when games are coming in thick and fast, that's when you now start seeing teams pull away or fall off. Right now, it's not a title race. Whoever's at the top, it can change to even Aston Villa being top after Christmas.
9 games to go here. I've seen 9 games to go. I've seen Villa top the league. 9 games to go. It end up come game 15. Then what?
So
then 15,
you can't say first 10 games or first 20. You have to wait until halfway through the season. Yeah? That's when you see who's now in the title race, because whoever's at the top right now, it doesn't really matter. Tottenham can pull away Man City and Arsenal and Liverpool. You never know, or they can fall off depending on how available their key players are. That's the key thing here. Experience is all good and well, but experience doesn't win you games. It's your key players, your talisman, who are in the team that are going to win you games. So forget about experience.
I mean like mentality, not experience. I used the wrong word. That's what I mean. But anyway, we'll move on anyway. We'll move on anyway. Let's talk about the Arsenal game anyway. So we'll move to Arsenal now. Arsenal with Sheffield, 5-0. After Pams, what do you make of the game, Pams?
I didn't watch the game, so I don't know. I heard that Eddie. Now I'll be honest. I'm being honest.
Never watch Arsenal's game.
No way, I didn't. I honestly, it was a 3:00 kickoff. I think I didn't watch the game, but I heard that Eddie Nketiah got a hat trick. So congratulations to him. Is he Arsenal quality? Absolutely not. I know that saying he likes him, but you think you're gonna win the league with Jesus and Nketiah? There's no chance. That's my opinion, though, isn't it?
No, I think you're right. I agree with you that.
If I win the league with Jesus and Nketiah, they're not good enough. How do you mean?
Okay, so do you think they're prolific?
No, they're not.
Okay, I feel like you need a prolific as well as your wingers. By the way, this season, Saka, Martinelli ain't really firing like that. So I feel like you need a proper nine.
I'm going to give you an example.
Yeah.
When Barcelona dominated for 4 or 5 years in Europe, they had a false nine. They had a false nine who was a central midfielder playing in a number 9 position, Didn't score that many goals. Probably scored about 7 to 8 goals, When City did it 2 seasons in a row, they had a
that's a poor example. That's a poor example. You're talking Barcelona.
No, I'm just showing you. No, it's not a poor example, because the players you're highlighting who are playing up front for us, you're saying they're not prolific. But City didn't have prolific strikers who were playing up top to fire them into winning the title challenges or whatever. They did score 7 or 8 goals in that season or whatever to help and contribute in the team going forward. So I don't see what the difference is in terms of Nketiah. And bear in mind, people are always like throwing shade at Nketiah. Bear in mind, this guy, he's the leading goal scorer of England under 21. If he's not prolific, he's not going to be able to do that. That's still a very high level and high standard of football internationally. Do you get what I'm saying? He's obviously prolific, but Arsenal, the playing style in Arsenal does not complement his style of playing to get him in those positions. Do you see what I'm saying? We more time take control of games. We're leading in the possession of the possession percentage of the game. So what we have is we have teams who are coming in with low blocks, setting up to just defend. So there's no space for him to run in behind. Eddie Nketiah is not a guy who's going to come, drop in and link up with players, beat 2-3 man and bang it top bins. That's not his style. So you're not going to get that off of him.
So your manager doesn't want a number 9 then?
I think
he does, and he will.
Modu,
Okay.
Yeah.
About Nketiah. I think Nketiah is not good enough. That's facts for me. That's my opinion. But Jesus, I think also, I don't believe that you need a top number 9 to win the league. Because if you get wingers that can score you 15 goals per season, like Martinelli can score 15, Saka can score 15, and Jesus can score at least 14 to 15 or even 16, I think you can win the league, depending on how your team is playing. I don't believe it. But I think Jesus, we need another striker to back up Eddie. I think Eddie can score you goals here and there, but if you rely on Eddie too much, you're not gonna get. But we'll see what Most is gonna. Most, what did you make of the game?
I didn't watch the game either, but well, Arsenal, man, I doing your thing. That Barcelona comment did throw me off though, but I like, what was that? There was a manager that said the quote about goals win you games, defense wins you titles, and I actually to win the title, you need to have a very solid defense, really, and as long as you're not conceding goals, it could, then I think you'd be okay. But right now, who did you play? You played Sheffield United. Was it Sheffield United? Right. Yeah. So that's like the one in the league. So I'm not really just gonna be raving about that. So I'll wait and see until how you perform against the mid-table teams, and I think that's where the title is won and lost, really, whether you get the points against those teams. But because we've seen Pep win the league without a proper number 9 before, but that's Man City. Do Arsenal have the same level of quality as City? I don't think so. And is your defense as solid? Your defense have been pretty solid, to be fair, but will it carry you through the whole season? I don't know. We'll wait and see.
When you mentioned that about Pep, you said defense win you leagues and attack. Yeah, the Barcelona thing threw you off. How is it that you think Arsenal are not of the same quality as? I'm not saying we've caught up with Man City because they have 2 world-class players, but our starting 11 with Man City starting 11, apart from maybe if Kevin De Bruyne is there and Haaland, it's not a big gap.
It is. Like this is Man City we're talking about. These are treble winners we're talking about. You're not even at the same table right now. I'm talking right now. I'm not talking historically. City have been there, done it. They've got the experience. They've got world-class players. Arsenal, you've got kids still. At the end of the day, you might rate them highly, but to the rest of us, we still see them as unproven kids who haven't really done it at the big stage, because the last time you got there, you choked. So I can't really compare them to the players that City got, or even prime Barcelona, who won 6 trophies in one season. Come on, man. That's a crazy comparison to me.
So, Sani, are you saying that Aguero is not prolific?
He is.
He was at City for years, though. Like, how many
Yeah, but,
seasons did they play without Aguero? Maybe 1 or 2.
but
And
how
then
you're
go on.
forgetting Aguero was there for years, but Aguero was injured for how many part of that?
No, I
Yeah,
get
it
that.
was,
I get
yeah.
that, but before he got injured, but then this is the thing. This is Pep though. At some point, I think Sterling got 30 goals in one season or something like that. So I don't think it's as simple as saying, like, I think that's just Pep and Barcelona. Personally,
Yeah.
I'll leave it alone because, bro, the reason why I'm saying prolific striker is that there's gonna come games this season where you're gonna need your 9 to step up. A 9 needs to be there. Like, I don't think a lot of teams can win the league without a striker. That's just my opinion, like a top striker.
The only
Yeah.
manager who's done it for
Pep.
me is Pep. That was when they had Gabriel Jesus there, and I don't know. I think Aguero had that injury season
I
there.
think that's
and
the season that Jesus scored 16 goals. His highest.
yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
that was the only time. And then people started to say, I remember they saying Pep don't like to play with a striker. Then he went and got Haaland, and that narrative changed. But for Arsenal
But
to do it,
for me, like I didn't watch the game, as you all know yesterday. Well, yesterday I was kind of busy, so I saw the lineup. And I think I made 4 or 5 changes. 4 changes. Sorry, he made 4 changes, and I'm like, okay, why are you making all these 4 changes? And I'm like, okay, we're playing Sheffield. I understand why he's doing this, trying to rest players as well, because we've got bigger games maybe in the future. So this game he can change players and afford to win. You know, and when I saw the lineup, I saw Smith Rowe. I think he had a good game. I watched the highlights later on, the full game. I think Smith Rowe played, and I think Zini played well yesterday as well. And
Okay,
then,
do you know what's funny? Do you know what's funny? You see this the same team, Man City beat, I think, 2-1. Man United beat them 2-1 as well. And I can't remember if Liverpool or Chelsea played them. And obviously we made big changes, and these guys who people are saying are not, good enough, they've not proven it at any stage or whatever. They came in and actually handled themselves really well and actually played for the badge. Sometimes it's the chemistry of the team and how well you believe in your manager and how well you buy into what your manager is doing. Because like we've seen, a lot of Arsenal fans are slaughtering David Raya, me included, about how he's bringing pressure onto himself. But Arteta's come out and said, I've told him to do that. I've told him to wait and invite the strikers to commit that press, and then we go from there. So we have an extra man in the middle of the park. But that's what I'm saying to you. It all boils into buying into that style of play and what your manager's trying to achieve and being that.
Daily, since the City game, Sheffield, since the City game, they've had 8 injuries, by the way. And we all know home and away is different in the Prem. Sheffield away is not easy. I'm telling you, they've had 8 injuries since that City game, by the way. They got Ryan Brewster starting. His last start was October 2022.
Yeah, that's correct. But at the same time, these guys are like professional footballers. They're in the Premier League. They're part of that squad. So when Arsenal lose key players, when we play the likes of Man City or whatever, no one ever says, oh, Arsenal didn't play with Partey, didn't play with...
No. Pamps, I don't think you can use that. Every football club have injuries.
Didn't play with you in Timber.
Yeah.
This is Sheffield United, my brother.
It doesn't matter. They're in the Premier League.
But as soon as
They came to the big boys competition. They're gonna get that. Nobody cares injuries or not.
They made no signings. They're a club that was about to get sold. Let me give you context then.
Yeah, we understand they got injuries. That's true.
But we can't just shit on them. They were about to get sold this summer, yeah? That the Nigerian businessman pulled out. They made 0 signings and they sold Zanderberg to Burnley, one of their best midfielders. Yeah, so you have to put context. You can't just say, "Oh, Sheffield United." Bro, Sheffield United away is not easy.
No. No one is saying it's easy. But what we're saying is you cannot come up anytime when your rival team win. You want to use this team they have injuries. This team they have. You can't do that.
So we can't talk about context. So we can't talk about context. We don't have context. We just say Arsenal are great. Should I just say Arsenal are great then? Is that what you want?
Yes, Arsenal are great. You have to say
Okay, against Sheffield United, well done. You know what? You were great.
Make it easy. Don't make people think right. It's for a salty man.
The problem is, when it comes
if
to
Man U win, if Man U will come out and give Man U credit. If Chelsea will come out and give Chelsea credit, that's how it is. That's why we're here. That's why we're here, man. But anyway,
bro, beat Brighton 5-0. I'll give you credit. Don't tell me about Sheffield United that got promoted last season, bro.
Yeah,
have
no
a
worries.
injury.
These are the same teams that Tottenham beat, and you guys are gassing up Tottenham. Like, yeah, they title contenders.
I'm not
Anyway,
gassing up
no,
Tottenham.
no,
I'm not
1 minute.
gassing.
Anyway, we're moving on now. We're moving on because we don't have enough time. Anyway, we'll move on to the big one. The big one that happened today, this afternoon. You know, I'll start with Most before I come to Palm. Most, what do you make of the game, the Manchester derby? You know?
You remember the preview when I was basically just saying that City are going to basically just run riot. But in fairness to United, in the first half, I think before the penalty, which I didn't think was a penalty actually, I thought
I
United
think it's
held
soft
it.
as well.
Yeah, I thought it was very soft. I thought United held their own and they were actually playing well. But after that goal went in, the players just kind of lost their way, and then just City basically just started to do their thing really. Um, yeah, it must be like quite concerning now. Like if I was a United fan, like every time you lot come against City, they basically just it almost at one point became like a training practice, and I've seen a couple games like that. But one thing though, I know already you keep saying that Ten Hag, you don't basically he's the man and he's not the issue. And I partly agree that it's not just Ten Hag, but his decisions has to be questioned. In games like this, for example, bringing Mount on, I didn't even know he was playing.
I didn't even
When
understand why I did that. So I don't even know. I was watching it. One of my friends here is a Man U fan. Badu came in and I was watching it in the living room. I said, "Why is he taking off Amrabat and bringing this Mason Mount? Why is he trying to prove?" I said, "But the game is like there. You go the full 45 minutes to go here. Wait until last 15 minutes, then you can make that change if it's 1-0 down. But to make that change that early,
United's best player for me was Hoyland. When he was coming off, like Hoyland was causing them so much issues with his run in the first half. So I didn't even know who came off for him. But since when he came off, there was like no threat coming out from anyone as well. So I just think his decision making in big games is very questionable, and partly because at 1-0 down, you still had a fighting chance. But I think his substitutions cost you the game.
yeah, I
Uh,
agree with you. I said the same thing. Palms, go ahead.
Yeah, well, yeah. First of all, I just want to say that the penalty, yeah. Like we can go and look at all the games this weekend, and I'm sure in each game there must have been like a foul. First of all, it's a contact sport. If Hoyland had both of his hands around him and dragged him to the floor, I understand. But you're talking about a derby. This is a derby. You're giving a penalty for that. For that. And this is the thing. The referee didn't even see it. The VAR went back and chose to call the referee to go back to the screen. Me, I don't understand it. How can the VAR go back and tell the referee, was that worth it? So that was a clear and obvious mistake then? Because they keep talking about this clear and obvious. I feel like the referees are killing like most of these games. And it will happen to every single one of us again and again and again.
you're not
And
sorry. Yeah, I would understand it a bit more if who was it? Was it Rodri? If it was like if he had a chance of getting the ball, but from what I was saying, it's like I don't think he would have got the ball.
he wouldn't have got it.
So for
Yeah.
that,
And
I felt like it was soft.
that's why I thought.
So
I
for
thought like
me, yeah, go on.
no, I thought like that situation that maybe they're looking at if Roddy's gonna get the ball. But when I watched it again, I said Roddy was nowhere near the ball. So what's the easiest? But this is what I was saying 2 weeks ago about the referees. The same consistent that I've been saying about referees, and I'm saying it again. I said last 2 weeks that Coventry should have shown up against Arsenal, and he didn't. They let him go. Against Liverpool, Ashley Young just did one tackle, and the referee gave him a yellow card. And he did another tackle. Instead of the referee to do the same thing he did to Coventry, like warn him and say, okay, if you do again, I'll give you a yellow card. He did. He book him up and he sent him up second yellow. The same game, Konate had a yellow card, and it took the man off on, and the referee refused to give him another second yellow. So this is for me, like I always talk about, and I've seen this pull shots, whatever the cases in the box, given so many times this season and last season. So now what I'm looking forward to the following week. Let's see, and if another team like does it or a small team does it, if they will give it or not. So that's what I'm looking forward to it next couple of games. But yeah, Pabs, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, no, yeah. So obviously for me, the game plan was spot on before the penalty. Yeah, we were conceding a lot of pressure, but for me, it's fine. I've seen it a million times before. The way to play City, let them come onto you and hit them on the break. So once that penalty was given, 1-0 down. Still, I wasn't panicking. But what really annoyed me was the Amrabat yellow card. Like, it's a derby. Foden challenged him. He's gone on, like, and him and Foden have bought their head together. And you've gone on yellow carded him. So Ten Hag was thinking at half time, the way Amrabat plays, he's gonna tackle you. So we can't go one man down. So he took Amrabat off. Casemiro's not fit. He took Amrabat off. He put McTominay 6 and he played Mount. So I understand that. And by the way, we can't even lose Amrabat like for even one game. We have so many injuries. So those are the reasons why he took Amrabat off. But the game in general, poor again. And I'm gonna say, like me, after the game, I spent like nearly an hour on the phone with a Man United fan. Shout out to Baxwell. He was saying Ten Hag out. Like, he's saying he wants Ten Hag out. Like, he's seen enough, this and that. But I told him, bro, look, we're in 2023. Varane, like a club with a proper football structure, we would have sold Varane because we can't rely on Varane. Our best defender, we can't rely. This guy gets injuries after injuries after injuries. Like, during the preseason, we should have said to Ten Hag, look, let's sell Varane to Saudi. Let's bring in 2 centre backs. We're playing players that this guy does not want. Maguire, like Evans, I can't believe it. McTominay, cool, he scored a couple winning goals, but he should have been gone. That should have been another midfielder. Or probably ball-playing midfielder, maybe like a younger Eriksen type of midfielder. Højlund is 20 years old. I can't believe Man United are relying on a 20-year-old. I feel sorry for this kid because he don't deserve this pressure. Martial, for me, he doesn't exist for me because we can't rely on Martial. Martial's finished. His body is broken down. Great player, but injuries have ruined him. Man United, big Man United, we're relying on a 20-year-old. A 20-year-old striker. What? This guy's meant to be learning off the bench. He might not score 10 goals this season, and I don't blame him because I see the potential in him. So for me, before you even think about the manager, look at the club, man. Look at the club. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came out and said he was only allowed 3 permanent signings per summer window. 3! A club like Man United. Well, so anyway, it is what it is, man. I just feel like things need to get...
My thing is, I agree. Part of the responsibility is on the club, but that's a bigger thing, and it's very hard to do something about that, really, as fans, in it, But you also got to look at Ten Hag signings and the players that he personally.
I was gonna come to that, but you continue.
All right, let me counter you. Let me counter you with that. Yeah, the other part, which you said as well about your club, is injuries. Our whole back four, starting back four, are not fit. I would like to see Arsenal's whole back four not fit. I would like to see. I don't know if Chelsea's back four. I don't know. Maybe you got 2 or 3 missing. Yeah, but any team, even City, if you take their whole back four out, they're not going to be the same team because Diaz is better than Akanji. Like, there's players that are better than each other. So for me, we don't even like. Okay, cool. Reguilon, yeah. I'm pretty sure Reguilon is not even fit. Like, we're forcing him to play, but this geezer is not even fit. That's got nothing to do with the Glazers. That's just injuries. It happens in club football, right? Injuries, and obviously Man United's inability to get rid of players. That's it. Injuries, bro. That our whole back four is out. I can't look at the manager, man. Come on. If this team had Luke Shaw, Fit Martinez, Varane, and Wan-Bissaka, we were the best defense in the league last season. The best. De Gea won the Golden Glove. We were the best defense. And then our all back fours out. We're conceding goals. People are turning on the manager. Some things are out of control. I can't use that as an excuse to start the manager.
Expect him to get the best
out of Maguire and Evans, a player that I'll prove. Maguire Evans, a player that he doesn't want.
Maguire. I'm talking about Mount.
Okay, Mount. Cool. All right, Mount. 100%. I agree with you, Mount. For me, I always said I don't know why we signed Mount, but the thing is with Mount, I think eventually Mount will come good. Do you understand? But there's still players in different positions that should not be playing, man. And this is our core. Our core right now has Maguire in it. Do you get me? So I can't blame the guy for that.
So I think it's all good to just say Maguire right now, but right now Maguire is playing good.
Because he's playing good because we're so shit. Let everyone come back and be fit. Let's see if Maguire gets into this team.
Mm,
Come on,
I,
come on, man.
I don't know, man. I just I, I I think with United's problems there, um, it still goes back to the players that you got, the style of play, and then when I compare it to the Chelsea situation, because we're very close to each other on the table. Yes, we're not getting the results, but I can sit there. I can tell you what
Chelsea
we're.
got a direction. We don't
Yeah,
have a plan.
yeah. I can tell you what we're going to do. I can tell you we're not going to score goals, but we will control the game, and then we'll get counted somewhere or lose a goal on a set piece. And that's basically our weakness. But with United, I can't point to one thing where I'm like, this is how they're going to approach this game. Um, this is basically they're going to control what players are going to play where. It's just all looks a bit
No,
erratic to me.
100%. And I agree with that. But this is the difference between us and Chelsea, though. Chelsea have basically a new squad of 30 players, pretty much, right? And we have about 5 or 6 players. With how crap our squad is, we have about 5 or 6 players that usually start that are not starting. So I don't expect us to play the same as last season. Man United will play better football once we get our 5 or 6 players back. In Jan, we need to go and spend. It's simple. In January, we need to go and spend. We need to go bring players in. But right now, I can't look at the manager. I can't. I can't. I'm sorry. This manager's fixed. I've watched him. He's proper.
For us, when we had Graham Potter, there was a cut-off period where we actually just had enough, even though we realized that the issue wasn't just down to Graham Potter. But it got to a point where we couldn't handle anymore, and
And
he
I
had
think
to
that was
go.
a mistake, sacking Potter. He's not a bad manager. You were playing better under Potter than when you sacked him, and you know that as well.
But there has to be a cut-off period where if
No,
you're
because
dropping down the table.
no, because your owners decided to take the route they were gonna take. They wanted a long term plan. What do they want? Do they what like what? I think Chelsea fans have to be realistic. You literally have about 30 new players. What do you expect? Do you expect to go and win the league? That's not gonna happen. You might not qualify for Champions League this season. It's a 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even a 6 year project. So either the fans and the owners need to be realistic because you can't get all of these players in and see all these changes happen and then sacking the managers. It doesn't make sense. You have to let him build. Got to let Poch fail, and just same as Man United, we have to let Ten Hag fail. We have to let him fail. That's the only way both Chelsea and Man United can
The-
get out of it.
I think Ten Hag, yeah, because his situation is very different to how Poch is. Because with Poch, we know that we have owners that will back him. And
Mm.
Ten Hag, if he keeps going, the fans will retire because there's not much patience. It happened in every fan, and the owners won't back him. So I don't think unless the results start turning very quick that he would have long. Maybe you won't turn and see the fan base turning.
No, no, I wouldn't turn. I wouldn't turn. If they sack him, I just think I don't know. I don't think Man United will ever come back. If they sack him, yeah, I don't think Man United will never come back because it's like a circle. We're just going around in circles. Bring Pep into this team, Deserby. You ain't gonna see no difference. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, quickly, we'll move on to Matthew. Matthew, good to see you back, bro.
Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna have much to say on this because I agree with everything Modo has said from what I've been listening so far. I don't see any point in getting rid of Ten Hag right now, as bad as he's gonna be, because he's just gonna be a vicious circle that's gonna happen again. Because we've seen it happen again. I think this should make the United, both the fans and the management and everything, know that there's not gonna be a quick fix. I mean, I said it. I don't know if I could see that Facebook post that I did before, but as soon as United hired Jose Mourinho, that's the first thing that I said. United are looking for a quick fix, and it's not going to happen. You're going to have a short-term win. You're going to win probably a Europa League or FA Cup, or not even FA Cup, maybe a Carling Cup, but it's not going to be a sustainable fix that is going to get United back to where they were. So I think you have to and then Ten Hag has got a history of like building something. Because in Ajax, he was working with kids. If I was him right now, I would play in the kids. I would bench Rashford. I would bench the only player that I might leave there might be what's his name again? the captain, I might be leaving him, even though
Bruno.
sometimes I don't like his attitude. But most of these so-called big name players, I'll be benching them and playing the kids. Just to see their reaction. So I don't think it makes sense to sack him right now. Even though, as a United hater, I want to see that. But to be honest, I agree with everything Modi was saying today. Really, I agree with
But
everything.
Matthew,
Yeah.
Matthew,
quickly
why do you
before
only come on when Man United lose?
yeah, 1 minute, Matthew.
Nah,
I agree with you. Like you basically agree with Pams, but what do you make of the game? The game today?
Today, I only saw the second half. I saw the whole of the second half, but I didn't see anything in the first half. This was the easiest game City played, in my opinion.
I
Today,
said
that
it
second half was the easiest game City have played throughout the season.
this is yeah, I said it.
Because United was like they were not even existing. Like no one wanted to. I mean, it was embarrassing. It was really embarrassing to be a United fan and seeing this happen. Because this is a derby. This is not like a city against another city. This is a local derby. The definition of a local derby is Man City versus Man United. You know, and then I was there for the last game. The last game at Old Trafford. It was a totally different game. Mostly similar players, but it was a totally different game. United won 2-0. I don't know, 2-0 or 3-0. I can't even remember. 2-1, exactly. But the game was a different. There was a different feeling for the fans as they were walking to the stadium, and even the game, the players had a different energy. But today, this was embarrassing. Seriously, this was
Yeah,
seriously
I
embarrassing.
was quickly before I move on to somebody else. I was watching it with one of my friends. I said to him, City haven't played like it all season. I think this is one of their best performance this season, man. Because
No, no, no.
towards the
United
end,
were just
especially second
United were
half,
just rubbish.
yeah. And United didn't turn up. This is a derby game, like Matthew, like you mentioned, a derby game. Look at Chelsea. They were rubbish all this time. And when we come to Arsenal, against Arsenal, they turn up. That's why
Yeah,
you
I
do.
know.
You don't have to turn up. But yeah, I'll move on to Babudi. Babudi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, what
welcome
do you make of the
Babudi.
game, United?
Babudi's first stream.
Welcome back, bro.
I was in the
Welcome for the
Chelsea
first time.
fan, yeah.
Yeah, he's a Chelsea fan. Yeah.
Cool.
Of course, bro.
More
Of
representation.
course. Through and through.
D, what do you make of the game? United City.
I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna blame Ten Hag because to start with a team like that, when you put Varane on the bench, it's a big mistake with a game like this. So I'm gonna blame Ten Hag because I don't know. The team wasn't just right from the get go. To be fair, and it just wasn't working. And secondly, you bring second half, you bring Amrabat off. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And then you bring Mason Mount on, it doesn't offer you anything going forward. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not hating, by the way. I'm not hating because he's a former Chelsea player. I'm not, but I'm just
I am.
talking from what I've seen. No, I'm not hating. I like Mason Mount personally, but he wasn't offering anything in the game. But I blame Ten Hag. His game plan was wrong from the get go. So that's all I can say. It was an easy game
Pam,
for City.
do you agree that Eric should be blamed, especially second half of the game? Changes and that.
No, me, I didn't like the lineup. I'll be honest because I would have started Varane at least. But even when you start Varane, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Varane had a knock or something. He's literally in and out. So even if he played, he would have played either next to Maguire or Evans. So it's just the setup is not right because Saini said like, why is Onana whipping the ball? He's not gonna pass the ball. We can't play out from the back. With Ten Hag systems, yeah, with his system, you need defenders that can play ball. I actually had Timber and Martinez, ball players. The attack starts from the defense. We don't have that, so we can't play his style. So all these Man United talking about style. Forget about style. We just need to win till our players come back.
But
So
yeah, credit to United though, because I feel like if Wan-Bissaka was playing, what's his name, Jack Grealish wouldn't have the freedom that he had today. So I'll give United that because they're
yeah,
missing their
Dalot's a
players.
fraud, by the way. Diego Dalot's
Yeah,
a fraud. That guy is shit.
Dalot
I'm
had a
sorry.
bad
That guy
game
is
today.
rubbish, man. That guy he shouldn't. Why did we even give him a contract? He's rubbish. That guy, yeah. Nah, I'll sell it. I'll let him go for free.
Who Dallo?
I don't
Yeah,
think
he's
I don't think
rubbish.
he's I don't think he's
Dallo's a
rubbish.
decent player, He's a
I
He's a
decent
don't
better
think
player.
he's
left back.
rubbish.
He's not a right back. He's not a right
No,
back.
I don't think he's rubbish. I just feel like he played against a better system today. That was it.
But did you see how
Played.
Jack Grealish was treating him? What right back is Jack Grealish treating like that in the league?
But Pep Guardiola is smart. That you
Mm.
don't. What's the new signing's name? Doku. Doku has
Doku.
been on
Jeremy.
form, but he chose
Jeremy
he
Doku.
chose to go with Grealish today because he knows that Dalot wouldn't be able to handle him. So Pep Guardiola is a smart manager as well. He could have carried on and played Doku today, but he didn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
and see, look at what Doku was doing when he came on. He was basically toying with the defenders.
Mm.
So
And
you know,
one thing I like about Pep Guardiola,
he was just against a better game plan today. That was it. So you can't really blame
you
Dalot.
know, I think for the first 20, 25 minutes, Man U started well. They started well until they considered a penalty. And I think that penalty, we need to discuss about this penalty issues more. Babdi, what do you make of the penalty? Do you think it's harsh or?
I don't even know what a penalty is nowadays, bro. I was asking you the question in the group because I
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah, that's
what
right.
is a penalty and what is not a penalty.
Mm.
So because for
Seni,
me personally, if that went against my team, I wouldn't be happy, bro.
yeah, we've seen referees
I
make
think it's like
mistakes like that
on.
every game, every weekend. But yeah,
Do you think the referees on big
can I
games
say
like?
more?
Now, do you think like? Because I see a lot of these mistakes happening in big games. Maybe it's because like all the, but there's a lot more pressure to get things right. It reminds me of like when Kovacic should have been sent off. We all knew he should have been sent off, but sometimes maybe they
Yeah.
just think they don't want to spoil the game, and other times they just feel like just the pressure that's coming in, and then it's like want to get the decision right, but there's just no consistency. I have a feeling that if that was like a smaller team, they wouldn't
Mm.
give it. If that was Sheffield United or West Ham, or Villa or any of the mid-table teams, yeah, I don't think that they would have got that decision. But
Yeah, but I
because
don't
it's
understand why they're doing that. The rules are the rules. It doesn't matter when you play in a small team or you play in a big team or it's a derby. The rules. If you have to send a player off because he did a bad tackle, send him off. It doesn't matter if it's a derby or not. You know. So I don't get it. But anyway, Seni, moving on to Seni, what do you make of the United derby? Manchester derby, sorry.
I think the Manchester derby, United were carrying a few passengers. Bruno Fernandes was a passenger today. Marcus Rashford was a
He's
passenger
always a
today.
passenger. Bruno's always a passenger.
Dallo was a passenger today. So when you start a game and you see your players aren't performing, that's why you've got a bench. You're allowed to bring on players. Take him off and bring someone who's hungry and who's willing to prove something to you. Do you see what I'm saying? So for me, as much as Man United as a club are in a bad state, but I disagree with Modu. Ten Hag had a stinker today. He had a stinker. 100% had a stinker. You're playing against the best team in Europe. Yeah, you're playing players who are offering you nothing. They have to come off. Play for the badge or earn your place. If you've gone 3-4 games, you're not performing, take him off and bring someone on to give that person a chance. That's why you've got a squad of players. Sometimes it's even good for that player to come out of the limelight and the firing line of fans and pundits and everyone, criticizing them, because it does bear down on your confidence. And as we can see, Rashford was on fire last season. This time last season, Rashford was on fire. And this season, he's played 9-10 games, and he's scored one and assisted one. For a player of his caliber and talent, he should be doing more. And then Bruno Fernandes today, oh my gosh, just shows how little he's got to offer. For a creative midfielder, you've got someone like Rasmus Højlund who's making amazing runs. If I was playing in a number 10 and I've got a striker like Højlund, I'm having a field day. If I've got time on the ball and space, I'm having a field day. So for me, he doesn't cut it. He's not good enough for Man United. If people are saying certain players aren't good for certain clubs to go challenge or to do that, for me, he's not good enough for Man United. The manager
Do
who
you
is
think he's a
offering
club
that.
captain? Do you think he deserves to wear the armband, Bruno Fernandes?
No, he doesn't, because most of the time he's being carried. He's a passenger in that team. He's been carried. That young kid who I can't remember what his name is, but he's got an afro. the mixed race kid.
Hannibal.
He came in. I seen him coming in a game, and he offered way more than Bruno Fernandes did in that game. And this is like an international player, a player who's got bags and bags of experience, who's been there, who's done it. And that kid comes and just outshines you in what? How many minutes? 40 minutes, if that, 30 minutes. So for me, he's not good enough for United if they're being serious as like challenges, or they want to be up there challenging for silverware and whatnot. And the way they're playing, fair enough, they've got loads of injuries, but this is where your man management really comes in. Like Modu said, Varane's got loads of injuries. Maybe he had a knock, so he didn't start today. But we've seen it round other clubs. When your big guys are missing, you put an arm around your available guy. You say, right, you're the guy. Like, we're missing this person. You're the guy. You're it now. I want you to go out and give your 110% on that pitch. Leave everything on that pitch. Today, we've seen it. How many passengers were United carrying? Rashford should be doing way more. You've got a chance. You didn't even get it on target. Like,
Okay,
Yeah,
I've got a
but
question.
yeah,
Sadie,
but
I've got a question. So you said Bruno and what's it called? Dallo was a passenger. Who you bringing on then instead of them?
I didn't see who was on your bench, but I think Garnacho
There's
came
no
on.
one on the bench. There's no one on the bench because the fan base told me that Garnacho was ready. He started the first 2 games. He wasn't ready. They also told me that Palestri was ready. Anthony went off to Brazil. He came in. He's not ready. These guys are kids. And Hannibal, I disagree because even though he's playing well, we can't throw him like within the wolves like that because his contract is running out soon. This fan base, one bad performance, they come in for a young player, so it's not fair. I'm not having it. Bruno should stay out there. If he's gonna sting the players out, let him sting the players out so we can sell him. Him and Rashford, so we can sell him and get proper players in. But to put young players in, remember when Martinelli was 18? Garnacho's 18. This is not the finished product. These are kids. So for me, I disagree. I don't agree with putting the youngsters out there to dry like that in a big game like this. Nah.
It's not a matter of putting youngsters out there to dry. We've seen it with Gabriel Martinelli. We've seen it with Bukayo Saka. He came in at 17. Yeah? This guy played left back, right midfield, everywhere at 17, 18, and 19. You're a professional footballer. You're playing for Man United for a reason. You're on that substitution bench for a reason. You're a manager, right? This is where man management comes in. Someone is having a stinker 4 games in a row. They deserve to be dropped. Simple as that. It doesn't matter if he's a kid or not. Bruno played against Sheffield. He also played against many other teams that he played. And I've seen him. This is not the first time I've seen him have stinkers. Rashford, the same thing. Sometimes it's good for someone else to come in and they're like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be so comfortable. If I'm not playing well, he is going to drop me. But if you like you said, these are kids, you can't be bringing them on to play. Look at Lewis.
No, I'm saying we can't start them.
How old is Lewis for Man City? He's
But
coming
Man
on.
City is a different. Man City are a settled club. We're not a settled club. You can't compare Man City to Man United.
Okay. Bukayo Saka. Arsenal were in the mud.
When Saka was playing under Emery, and he's a generation. He's looking like a generation talent.
Exactly.
Greenwood was a generation talent. Greenwood at 17 was playing it for the first team. Different players develop at different stages. You can't paint every young player with the same brush. These man, Hannibal and these man, Garnacho, don't think that, and Palestri, don't think that they're like generation. Nah, they can be. They're not yet. They're very raw.
So you think when
started the first 2 games?
You think when Saka was playing, he was generational at that point? He didn't do anything.
No, but you could tell. But he played left back though. He was playing left back.
Yeah, and he laid the socks off and left everything on the pitch. That's what I'm saying. If someone is not giving you that outlet, you need to bring someone else to come in and give you that effort.
Martinelli was a road runner, by the way.
Hard work is the minimum. You have to offer that no matter what.
100%.
Even if you're.
But Martinelli was a road runner though. Martinelli used to run into blind alleys. I remember him.
He used to run into blind. But what did he do?
No, he developed. That's what I'm saying.
Back. He made it difficult for his opponents. He offered something. he gave some of the defenders something to think about, because if you let
Nah,
your
uh,
defending higher, it's gonna run in behind you. So there's
Pumps,
all
I
these
think
different things.
certain players at certain ages, yeah, they need. I think saying it quickly. I think certain players and certain at certain age they need managers as well to develop them, because if you guys are
Yeah,
changing
that's
managers every 2 3 years, because you have young players as well. And the other thing I want to say is Sandy mentioned about if Rashford is not on form, you put on the bench. I think people have been criticizing Odegaard for the past few games. Look what happened yesterday. He was on the bench. They put on the bench. He didn't play. I know it's different because Arsenal play Sheffield. You can make pennies and still win matches. But if you don't have the squad, then are you guys gonna carry on playing your passenger
Yeah,
players? Then
but
it's
Rashford
gonna be
used to
a
get
long,
dropped
long.
in play, and he was still busting up a stinker in that game as well.
I
yeah,
should be like,
that's the
Yeah, but
point that's the point I wanted to make, especially for young players. The managers matters big time. There are certain managers that can develop players and make them better. But certain managers just can't seem to do that. Or maybe they can't seem to do it for certain players. And this is why when certain English players, especially when they go abroad to Germany or somewhere else, you get to see them develop much better and quicker, and rather than if they stay here and work under certain managers in their local teams. So that's quite important. See, this is why Bodu and is it Hussein? You can't agree because of it depends on the manager as well. It's not only the player. Players are different and managers are different. Someone like a Pep, like a Desiree, you could see that they can get the best out of players. Even Alex Ferguson used to be the same. Alex
even Vega.
Ferguson's team, yeah, Wenger as well. Obviously, Wenger, yeah, he used to work with most of the young players anyway. I mean, even if you compare, I'll even put Wenger ahead of Ferguson because Wenger didn't have the budget Alex Ferguson had.
No,
Wenger used to work with kids basically, and he used to compete with teams like Manchester United and Chelsea and those teams. So the manager matters a lot. The manager matters a lot.
yeah, definitely. Facts.
That's why I mentioned about the man management issue. If you're looking at your bench and you're not trusting these young players, do you think these young players are going to come on to the pitch and be thinking, oh, actually, I'm going to be very confident? My manager don't believe in me. My teammates don't trust me. They won't even give me the ball. That's why I said to you, it's the manager that I
I mean,
blame in this game.
in
He's got
fairness
very
to,
little to work with.
I'm just saying, in
Sorry?
fairness to United, don't you just think that it's down to squad depth as well? Because if
Yeah, that too. That too.
if you look at the United squad, yes, there is a lot of youngsters in there, but if they're not good enough, like to go up and compete against the like of City, and there's no one there on the bench, then that's gonna be a problem for any manager. Um,
I spoke to a few United fans before the start of the season. When Man United beat us in America, they all said, right, we're definitely going to be top two this season. We're going to be challenging. We're going to be beating teams, this,
Yeah, I
that, and
remember.
that.
I remember that.
They were very happy with their squad depth. So they can't come round now and be saying squad depth. That's not even an option. So I'm not having it.
But yeah,
yeah, man.
what else I want to say? Yeah, probably. Basically, we talked on Chelsea. We did talk about Chelsea earlier, but I don't know if you wanna say something about Chelsea before we end this stream.
To be fair, I don't think there's anything to say.
Babdi,
Bro,
I got a question for you and Mus actually, Babdi.
mm,
As a fan, yeah, you see your club spend £1 billion on young players for the future and everything. What
mm.
do you think? What do you think your targets are this season, and is it achievable?
I
What
don't
do you
think
think
anything.
your team should focus on getting this season?
To be fair, I think we should be focusing on just winning games for now. We shouldn't even be focusing on about player development and all these things. We shouldn't. I think all we should be, or what's supposed to be our priority right now is just winning games because we're finding it really hard to even score goals. Do you know what I mean? Especially against all these low block teams. But me personally, I'm not a fan of Pochettino. I've been saying it from the start. I think me and you had this conversation
Yeah, yeah.
before we got up on. I'm not a fan of Pochettino, and I was against his appointment because a manager like him, you manage Spurs for years, you don't win a single trophy. You go to PSG, you manage Neymar and Mbappe and all these man. and you don't win anything again. To be fair, if you're managing PSG, you win them and you win the league is not a massive achievement to me personally. Anyway, I don't know how you man feel about that, but if you win the league with PSG, it's not like you've won the Premier League. Do you understand? It's a farmers league. So me, I was against his appointment from the get go. I think Pochettino is a good coach. He's not an elite manager. Do you know what I mean? So with him there, I don't see us. To be fair, I don't see us progressing any further. We can do better than 12th position and maybe finish eighth, but I don't see it getting any better than that. That's me personally, anyway.
So you think
Um,
your target should be, and is that achievable for Chelsea
To be
Football
fair,
Club?
to be fair, to be fair, I think we should at least get top six, top four. Let's forget about it. I think we should at least try and finish sixth or seventh. But we're not gonna get any better than that. Let's be realistic, bro. Look at the way we're playing,
What
fam.
your team was?
Huh?
I mean, I disagree with a lot of what you said there because, for one, I think you have to have standards, and just because
Mm.
you're playing bad doesn't mean that you have to drop those standards and just say we just have to win games because that's not good enough for me. This is Chelsea at the end of the day, um, and we know we have to win games, and we expect Poch to get it right. And the other thing as well is that Modi would tell you before we get Poch, I wasn't too keen on him. I wanted more experienced managers to come in, but the direction that we're going with the amount of young players that we're getting in, you have to look at his track record. Uh, he is one that has worked with young players before and for their development. And like, if we're going this direction, it's better to get someone in that can work with young players. But that doesn't mean that I'm just gonna be like just happy with us passing the ball and just seeing pattern of play and then just be just saying, oh, as long as we win. But my expectation is to get Europa League at the very least, and I'm not dropping that just because like we're playing poorly
That's
right
what
now.
that's what I said. That's why I said six or seven.
Six or
Exactly
Yeah,
what you
seven.
said.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
100%. I think we should get Europa League, and that that standard shouldn't drop. And whether or not purchase the manager to take us to the next level and win the league, time will see. But
To be
going back
fair,
to this
to be
one
fair,
bit,
to be,
because I know Saini keeps bringing it up here, is that this is not FIFA career mode. Just because you spend 1 billion doesn't mean that you're just gonna automatically you have a God-given right to win the league. That's not how it works. That's not how it works in football. And you got to look at where we spend the billion. It's not we didn't spend it on experienced players. We spend it on very high potential young players. But at the end of the day, they're still young players, and you need to give them time to bed in. You also have to look at the amount of injuries we have, and yeah, and like it's Potter's first season, so it's gonna take time for him to bed in and for us to actually start playing the football that we want. One thing I'm encouraged about is that from the very early stages, I was seeing patterns of play, and our problem still the same: can't finish. When we get a new striker, will that change? Well, we wait and see. But
Muz,
I'm
you're saying that's not how football works. That is how football works. If you're spending 1 billion, you need to spend it in the right place,
when
on the right players,
up you there.
and
When
on the
six,
right manager.
how long did
You
it take
can't
City
just go
to
around
spend?
and say this player in France is good. Oh, let's get him. That player in Italy is good. Let's get him. You need to
That's that's not
you need
how
to
it
get you
works,
need to
though.
get a manager
That is not
who's got a
when
style of
Guardiola
play, who's
when Guardiola
implementing
first came to the
his own
finished.
style, and then you buy players who fit into that style of play.
Yeah,
You can't just go around and buy the world 11, starting 11, and expect them to gel and then just win everything in
that's
world
exactly
football.
my point. That's
That's
what I'm
that's
trying
not
to say.
how football works. Just like you're saying, the way
Yeah,
it works is you get someone in, he knows what he's doing, he knows what he wants. You get players who fit into that style of play. That's why I'm alluding to what do you think after you spend 1 billion? What do you think is achievable for you, and what are your targets? That's what
and
you should be
I think we're
you
doing
shouldn't even be
exactly that.
concentrating on. You shouldn't even be concentrating on what next striker can you get to score you
No, no, no,
goals.
no.
Right now, you need to concentrate on how you can gel that team. What manager can come and implement his style on those players, or get rid of the players you don't need, and then bring in players that you do know will
This
match and fit
is
that
the
style
thing.
of play.
There's not a conversation in the Chelsea fan base that I've seen anywhere about the manager because for me anyway, I think we've got the right manager for the players that we have, and I actually do think that the board and the manager are in line in their thinking with the players they're trying to get in. it just comes down to just giving them time. And I know that if you do give him time, he will get it right. And we just got to just see where we spend the billion. When City didn't spend their billion in 1 or 2 seasons, they spend it like over like 5 6 year period. When Pep first came in, he finished fourth in his first season, but that's Pep Guardiola, obviously, like he's an elite manager. Um, for Chelsea, we just did it. We tried to speed our process up by just trying to do it all in one summer, and that's probably part of the reason why we're struggling right now because we've got so many players in. But I, I I genuinely do feel like we are not far off to where we need to be, and that's because of I'm seeing the players are fighting for the manager. Yes, the results are not going our way. I think we've been unlucky in a lot of our matches happening this season. So
So
I'm
what do
not
you think?
panicking.
What do you think? What do you think Pochettino is trying to implement on the team? What kind of football do you think he's implementing?
I mean, this is it partly frustrates me in a sense because I grew up on Chelsea where you just get the win no matter what. I didn't care about the style of play or having beautiful football. I just wanted the win. But Poch's style of play really it's just similar to what he was trying to do in Tottenham really. Um we controlled the game. I think um
How are you controlling the game?
No,
How
wait,
is the
I wanted to ask a question. When Poch was at Tottenham, what was his playing style? Because I
yeah?
don't know
And
what it was.
how was he controlling the game? You say
Poch
control and win,
playing good
but
football when he
but
was at
there are philosophies of football which you control a game or even go and win. What is his style of play? What is he trying to implement? What was he like? Babadi said. What was his style of play when he was at Tottenham?
like I'll tell you for example, yeah. So in preseason, yeah, like the formation which I thought is the formation that he wants to play at Chelsea, which was the four played with the three midfielder. We only had all of our players in. I was actually just the good pattern to play, but we had Nkunku there, um, and the two midfielders there, and then Jackson was firing. So I could dictate the and that's all from the midfield. But when we had so many injuries, that's when he went to the three at the back, and we didn't really practice that. Um, I I I can sit there and watch Chelsea, and I know for a fact that unless we come up against a City and against Arsenal, I don't think we dictated play that much. I know we're going to dictate the play most of the time, but our weakness just comes from set pieces. And if you see most of the goals that we concede comes from set pieces.
Okay, can I just say something? Yeah, you see,
Mm.
when I watch my team, I know what my manager's trying to do. He's trying to control the game by having most of the ball, and the way he does that is he has two of our centre backs who are very strong and fast, who can recover very well, and then you have two deep line sort of like pivots in Zinchenko and maybe Declan Rice, and then you have 5 and 6 attackers up the pitch, which two players are dropping in the pockets. So those are our two number eights, and that's how we control games and create chances. How is your manager controlling your games, and what is his philosophy in terms of football?
Sadie, stop stunting on us. Yeah, you're on
No, no,
year
no,
five,
but
phase five.
I, I,
no,
I,
but he's asking a
All
proper
right, go on
question.
then.
It's a question. It's a
Because
question
Go
out
on
there
then, bro. Go on.
for him to
yeah,
answer.
it's a good question, bro.
like I said before, yeah, obviously it's a young team. We have not gotten there yet. What I'm seeing so far, what I'm seeing so far from my team is early encouragement that I can see what he's trying to do. So for me,
Yeah,
anyway, I
what
don't
is he
watch
trying to
Chelsea.
do?
I
That's
don't
what I'm
watch
asking.
Chelsea and
What is
just
he
see
trying to
like
do?
what.
No,
Yeah,
most. I don't think most. I
yeah,
don't think
what is
most
he
can
trying
tell
to
you
do?
his style of football right now.
No, I
It's too
can, bro.
early.
I don't
I
watch
think
us.
it's an unfair question.
You
It's
say
too
you
early,
say
man.
control games,
It's
and
bro, it's
you're
not.
Okay,
trying to.
now we do though. I don't
How
watch us
how
Babadi,
is he doing?
and then I just
Babadi.
see what
So
like dominate.
you expect a style of play right now? Like I think it's too early. There's too many injuries. There's too many things
No,
happening. Don't you think?
do you know? Do you know
No,
what
no,
it
but
is?
he's saying
No,
that's why I asked him the question.
Like
He's saying he
we're
because
can
nine
see the
games,
style of football. He can
we
see
won
they're trying to
because
control games and stuff like
no
that.
Modu,
He's the one who's
Modu,
saying it. So that's why I'm
no
Yeah.
asking him
Modu,
that.
Modu.
What is
Okay.
it
When
that he sees? Do you
no
see what I'm saying?
when Graham Potter came in, yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah.
everyone was saying, oh, he has a style of play, possession football, da 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 da. Yeah, when
Mm.
he started losing games, no, but anyway, when he started losing games, yeah. everyone was like, oh, he didn't have no preseason, yada yada yada. Now this guy's coming way before you started your contract at
Preseason, like
June the
preseason.
first. June the 1st, you had a proper preseason. You build your team, everything, and then the season starts, and you start playing three at the back. The whole preseason, you play 4-2-3-1. Season starts, you start playing three at the back. Yeah, that doesn't work. You go back to 4-2-3-1. Where's the style of football? Now that's what Sane is asking him now. Where's the style of football? Because he's
That
saying
one
that.
I didn't get because I thought we'd be playing with the four at the back. But when he
Okay.
went three at the back, that did change things a lot. And I thought I just put that down to us having injuries, really. So I
Mus, I
mean,
got a question
like
for you, Mus.
right now, what do you want me to say? Like,
You,
oh, we should be
Mus,
like getting Poch
No,
out.
you're saying you see control, you see his style of football. That's why I asked you that question.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not saying
because we dominate most of the games that we play. We actually do dominate the possession. We do create chances. We just don't finish them.
but ain't that the same problem last season?
Nah,
Muslim.
last
Exactly,
season
bro.
we were
It was
just
the same problem. We weren't scoring goals last season. We're not scoring goals this season.
yeah,
You
but I
understand?
think
So,
we are creating more chances this season than we were last
bro,
season. We
chances
are
don't win
though.
games, bro. Chances don't win games, bro.
Yeah, no, I know chances don't win games. That's why I'm more hopeful that when we get a striker in, someone that can actually finish, we would be in
United
a
had chances. United had chances today. Did they win the game,
There.
But
bro?
but
I'm surprised,
it's
but
like,
you don't rate
I mean, you
Pochettino.
can have a chance by
I
taking
actually,
a shot
me
outside the box.
personally, bro, I don't rate Pochettino, bro. I
I'm
don't rate
really
him. We
surprised.
can't. We as a
Pochettino
Chelsea
is a
fan,
good manager. He's a really
as a
good.
Chelsea as a Chelsea fan, we can't take a Spurs reject, bro. Spurs sacked this guy to sign Mourinho, bro, because
Yeah,
he weren't winning nothing.
you can't
But
compare
but
now with Chelsea.
No, but I'm just,
Look, at,
bro.
he got Spurs to the Champions League finals,
If
semi-final finals.
did he
but
win it?
now,
Did he win it?
but here's the thing. I love
Huh?
Mourinho just like anyone here. But do you honestly see Mourinho working with these players?
No,
On
no, 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 no.
his
That
level?
no, no, no,
It's
no,
not,
no, no,
it's not
No,
no,
work.
no, 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 no. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying they got rid of him to sign a winner because he wasn't a winner. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying we should get Mourinho because he's better. No, I'm not saying that. He got Spurs to the final. He got Spurs to the final through two lucky goals from Lucas Moura. That's how he got to the final. So let's not make it as if he masterminded a football match. No, he didn't.
So
He
Nah,
didn't.
he also beat City in that run. So first
Babudi,
run wasn't like an easy run that they had. I remember they beat Madrid that season, they beat City, and they beat Ajax, who were very good in that season as well. So right now, I don't see any point
Muz, I think you should go to
having this.
Specsavers, man. I don't know what style you're seeing, bro, but it feels like
Hey, Mus, can I ask you a question, Mus? Mus, can I ask you a
Uh,
question?
I
Why
would
did you
ask,
not? Why did you not rate Poch before? You never
Hmm?
used to rate Poch. Why before? Why did you not rate him? I remember I had to defend him. So why was that though?
Uh,
but,
bruv,
just
he's my the difference is he's my manager now, in it. So
Nah, you got to be.
I've got to
Nah,
back him
come
up.
on, man. You got to be real.
I've
Give
got to
me the
back
real
him.
answer.
Like
Babudi,
what choice do you want me to? What do you want me to
Eh?
say?
Nah, but give me the
okay,
real answer though.
okay,
He
Well,
might not be your manager end of the season. So why did
well,
you not
if
rate
it's
him before?
not, then we will have the conversation. But for me right now, I just feel like no, I'm just looking at where we are right now, and I'm like, who's the best person? Maybe
Yeah.
because we had Graham Potter before, and I didn't rate Graham Potter, and I'm like, Poch is a step up. So, I genuinely think he's the best person to get the best out of these players. And maybe he's not the player, he's not the manager to win us to take us to the next level and win the league. We will cross that bridge when we get there. Um, but for right now,
No,
I
as
don't
bad
see
as
any point.
no, as bad as he is, I don't think we should sack him. I don't think any team should sack a manager after 9 games.
but
So as
Babudi,
Yeah.
bad as he is, I
Babudi,
don't think we should sack him.
do
But
you think that Spurs team? Do you think that Spurs team was good enough to compete for to compete for the Premier League or to compete for the Champions League? Even the Spurs team that Poch had, the one he got to the Champions League semi-finals, or was it final? I can't even remember. Do you think
I
that
can't even,
was good enough?
I can't even remember the team. But I know Ericsson was there.
Exactly.
No, Ericsson was there. Dele Alli was there. So all these players were there. Harry Kane was there.
Yeah.
So what do you
And then
mean?
who else? Who else?
Who else?
Was it like?
Who
It
else?
wasn't
Eric
like.
Dyer was Eric
sorry,
Dyer was there.
It wasn't
they
like
had
Dele
Son, they had
Alli.
Musa Dembele,
They had
they had
Dembele.
great
They had
players.
all these man.
Yeah, but
They had
but
they had good players.
but you were talking as if these players were all world class players.
Bro,
They were
Spurs,
world class
Spurs. But
You
no, but wait,
don't
no, but
need world class
no,
players to compete
Saini. They,
in a bigger stage.
there were
You just
two
want
minutes. They were
You need world
they,
class players to compete in the Premier League, I would think.
They were
Not
5 minutes. They were 5 minutes away
because
from
when Leicester City won it,
getting
they didn't
kicked
have any
out.
world class players in their team.
But
That was
that was a one-off.
that was a one-off.
It's,
That
but it's not.
was
But
a
it's
one-off.
not though. That's
Um,
but it's not
Now,
because
go
what
on,
you had in
and
that team was
then that was
everyone
do you see who's stopping
everyone needs
in the Spanish league?
everyone needs to respect that Leicester City win
I bet
because
no one here knows a player of the team
Because-
who's on top of the Spanish league right now.
because do you know when Leicester City
What
won
do you
it,
mean?
yeah, they had their players giving 110% week in week out, and they had them all available, and that team gelled very well. Yeah, they didn't have any world class players.
Okay, here's my thing. When Leicester won it, where did Arsenal finish? Where did City finish? Where did Chelsea finish? Where did Liverpool finish? Where did all of these big teams finish? All of us had a bad season that year. So the only team that realistically was there, you could say, was Tottenham, but Leicester was pretty much like from January.
Tottenham finished still. They finished that below Arsenal. Arsenal finished second last season. So I know that we all have a bad season, but still.
Had a bad season that year. So Leicester.
So it was
and-
Arsenal that bottled the league. So it was Arsenal that bottled it, not Spurs.
Yeah, it was Arsenal that
I
bottled
wouldn't
it.
say bottle that time. That time we were not challenging. We didn't challenge, to be honest.
So
I
we
just
finished
think
second.
I just think Pochettino's a good manager, but he's not an elite manager. Simple as that.
but okay, so here's my question to you then, because you're saying he's not an elite manager. If he had your way to replace Poch, who would you bring in then?
Bro, even if before we signed Poch, I would have gone for Nagelsmann, bro. He's young, bro. He could have built his team to what standards that we're looking for. He could have.
But then,
We had options. We had
That's a
options.
big risk, Babudi. That's a big risk.
We had options of Nagelsmann, Luis Enrique, and Poch. So
I
you
wanted
go.
Enrique.
I'll go with
I
Enrique
wasn't sure about
than
that.
Nagelsmann.
I wanted Enrique, but then it didn't go forward. Then we were left with them two. Bro, I still wouldn't go for Poch, fam. I wouldn't because
Nagelsmann is
bro,
serious though.
Nagelsmann is serious, bro.
I don't
Poch
think
is
He's
not.
serious.
Babudi, I don't think you
available.
understand the task you have for being a manager for Chelsea right now. Chelsea signed, I can't even know how many players they signed, and most of them they're young, inexperienced players. It's going to be a
But
tough
that's perfect for Nagelsmann. That's perfect for
perfect for
Nagelsmann, man. If you look at the Red Bull system, the Leipzig and Salzburg, that's what they do. All
Thank
young
you.
players, honestly.
Thank you.
And they go
It's not-
far in the Champions League every season.
I think it's too early to be judging Poch right now.
No.
Same here. I think so.
Nah.
Too.
Hey,
I think
I hope he proves me wrong, but he wasn't my first choice, bro.
Yeah,
Simple.
I think you gotta give him a season. Like
But
before,
didn't
before
Bayern
A
start
season.
Nagelsmann?
you gotta give him at least
A
a season.
season.
Bro,
Yeah.
football nowadays. Do you think he's gonna last the season going like this? Let's be honest.
100%,
No,
he has to last the season because
No, but
what the owners have sold us.
But if we want him to succeed, we have to leave him there for a season.
But
That's
do
the
you know,
sad part.
do you know what you guys are failing to mention your owner in Todd Bowley.
yeah,
This guy
correct.
came to this.
Thank you.
He came to the club buying players in regards to how they were performing for the team they were in and the system they were playing at. He wasn't buying players due to what they needed and what the manager who was in charge needed. You can't go around the whole world and buy all the best players in that team and then think, oh, if I now bring them to my team, it's gonna work.
They're not even the best
You've
players.
got a manager who plays in a
They just
certain
have
way.
potential.
The players need to come in and fit that playing style, which is why we've seen it. Look at Mudryk. Mudryk was killing it. I've seen Shakhtar Donetsk play against Real Madrid, and he was on fire that game. Mudryk now against Sheffield, he's not even turning up.
Nah, he's cold, Saini. Just give him time.
No, he's cold. He's cold. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's the manager and who you're bringing in needs to fit and the playing style. You can't just go and bring a world-class player and then stick him in. Even Jude Bellingham, if you brought him to Chelsea right now, he would struggle.
Thank
He
you.
would struggle.
This is what I'm saying.
I think you
This
got
is
to
what
look at
I'm
the
saying.
owners.
This is what I'm saying. Thank you.
So stop
You got to
focusing
look at the
on
owners, man.
1 year or 2 years. You need to bring the players he needs to fit his playing style. Get rid of the players you don't need. You don't need a 30-man squad of just young generational talent.
Look, I
Poch
hear
needs to
what
stay
you're
for
saying,
5 years.
but for me,
5
we are
years.
where
Let him
we
build.
are. No, we are where we are. At the end of the day, there's no Chelsea fan that was shouting for Abramovich to leave. We were very happy with Abramovich, But
Yeah.
we are where we are, so I'm not really gonna be like, just screaming and shouting. You have to make the best out of a bad situation. I think we've got the better American owners that came in. At least they're spending the money. They're getting the money. So
I know where it's
they're
coming
spending the
from.
money, but you're
I know where
missing
it's
11.
They have
That's
to-
the point
Anyway,
you're missing.
but anyway,
This
guys,
is why I rated the Arsenal owners, the Kroenkes, because as soon as they got 100% ownership of the club, yeah, they say to Edu and Mikel, what do you need? Because when Mikel got rid of Obama, even I was like thinking, what is he doing? This guy is a gunman. What are you doing getting rid of him? This, that, and that. But Mikel said, these are my standards. This is the culture I bring into Arsenal. If you're not with it, you're out. Simple as that.
Danny, let's be real. Let's be
When he
real.
got rid of Obama,
No,
everyone was gunning him. They were like,
Abdul
nah.
now, one last
Danny,
thing.
your owners just started fixing up right like a couple years back.
Yeah, but
Like,
Why?
listen, guys,
Because
as soon as that Spotify, as soon as the
you know,
Spotify owner came in
the reason why
and
they
did
fixed
2
up.
billion, come on,
The
man.
reason why they
Yeah,
fixed
but
up
The
is because
owners
they've
are
got
crap. Low key,
100%.
they're crap.
Say Pam,
Now,
Pam,
The
what
reason
we're gonna
why
do, we're gonna have a special,
they've started
Say
they started
we're
performing
gonna have a
because they've
special
got 100%
podcast
ownership
for the
of
honest
the club.
guys.
And the
Just recently.
Spotify owner bid 2 million. They're like, oh shit, this football thing is mad. And then they started acting up.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah,
they
but say
started
listen,
like doing
if
their
we
job.
wanna talk
Modu,
about Chelsea,
you know why?
Say it.
Because they didn't have 100% ownership of the football club. They had someone
But
else
why
who
wouldn't
had
they
a
spend
very,
then? Why weren't they spending? They had majority though.
they had majority, but they didn't have overall control.
You don't
of
need
it.
to have.
Because the thing is, if you put your money in here,
if you
let's
have
say me and
majority,
you own a business, yeah.
majority
Let's say
control.
me and you own a business. I own 60%, you own 40%. If I put millions in it and then you say I don't agree with the decisions you're taking or what you're doing, you have the right to then implement your own ideas into it as well. But I'm the one who's bringing all the millions into it. Are you
The
gonna spend
Glazers
all that
own
million into
69%
you?
of Man United. They're calling all the shots.
Exactly.
Say
And
it.
what's happening?
It's
What's
majority.
happening?
That's what I'm saying. So they have control then.
Listen, guys, all I want to say is, yeah, if we want to talk about Chelsea, we're going to be here all day, or even United, or even the owners. What we're going to do, we're going to move this into our next podcast, which is Thursday. Yeah, we'll probably talk about it.
Yeah,
But
let's
I
do a
have got
podcast
like
for the owners. I'm on these owners next.
yeah, but
Swear
listen,
down.
yeah. Anyway, I've got like few questions to ask. Just 2 questions before we go. The signing of the season so far, Madison or Rice, who would you pick?
They played two.
Madison.
No, I mean, no, I mean right now.
Madison all day.
Okay.
All
I'm
day.
asking people's
Maki
opinion
knows.
anyway.
Yeah, Maki knows who's a good footballer.
Yo, I saw Madison play, boy. That player, he's something
Babidi,
else.
Huh?
Babidi, who would you go for?
Sorry, give me AC Milan. I'm watching AC Milan.
Madison or Rice? Go play every season right now so far. I'm not saying all season right now. I mean, yeah.
Personally, I'll go for Rice because I like CDM players.
D.
But,
No, man, I like CDM players.
It doesn't matter, boy. Have you seen
No,
the
no,
impact
but Maki-
Madison got on Tottenham? Have you seen
yeah,
the
but
impact?
that's his opinion.
Like,
Can't change his
No.
opinion.
No, but
No,
D's a football
I
player.
have to
Somebody
give
is a football player. That's what I know.
No,
He's
Madison.
a football
Listen,
player.
D,
no,
D,
Madison
I
is a
agree.
baller.
D,
Huh?
I agree with you in that sense. Yeah, if I was picking someone in the 6, I'll definitely pick Rice.
Yeah,
If I
but
was
he
playing
doesn't say
someone,
someone in the 6. He said
if I was
the
picking
best
someone in the 8, I'll pick Madison.
Yeah, I think the
They
comparison.
both had great impact on both teams. Yeah.
Yeah,
Defensively,
Yeah, but Saini.
Rice has made Arsenal 100% solid defensively. Madison,
here's my
Tottenham,
question.
he's made Tottenham very creative attackingly. So you can't
Yeah.
say
Who
this
has
player
the
has
big-
done this better than
this.
this player is better because they've both changed both teams in different ways.
No, but Saini, you
So
can say
no,
who's
but
having
who
a better
had the-
season though.
Yes, that's what I'm
No,
saying.
no.
Didn't
No,
talk
one
about-
minute. Who
Didn't
have
talk
a better
about-
no,
season?
Alka said who's the better signing. He didn't say
Yeah,
who's having a
Who's
better
the signing
season.
of the season
But
so
he didn't
far?
say any position with a CDM or
What do we
You know,
mean?
AC
No. I choose two players, which is Rice and Madison, because you know why? They're both doing well. That's why I choose those 2 players. So
exactly,
it
they're
depends
both
on
doing well in different
yeah,
jobs.
what choice you want to go for. Me personally, I will stick with my boy Rice. If it's another player, I'll pick.
Why did you ask the question then? You already
I'll
had
pick-
your answer. Why did you ask the question? Why did you
No.
ask the question?
I'm asking
If
you.
a taxi driver,
I'm
if
asking
a
you.
taxi driver is making money, picking
I'm
up
asking
customers,
you.
and a tailor is making money, making clothes for customers in the same sort of like month, how are you gonna differentiate who's the better businessman?
Saini,
Madison.
That's the argument you use, yeah, when you want
Anyway.
to defend players doing their normal job, like bang average job. That's the argument you use. Yeah.
Anyway, listen.
Like,
Listen,
a
one more
postman is supposed
question.
to
One
come.
more question. I know we're gonna be arguing here all day. We don't have time anyway. We have to move. So last question before we end this trip. Best defender so far. Best defender of the season so far. Who would you choose?
You just want
Opinions.
guy, but yeah.
Oh, I know.
You
Van
can't
der
go.
Ven for me, Van der Ven from Tottenham. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Why
My
would
man, yeah, that's him. Same here.
Van der Ven.
Same here.
Why would he? Best
Tottenham
defender of the
defender.
season so far.
To be fair, I'll have to go with Saliba, bro. For me.
Sally?
But I think you're an Arsenal fan now, man.
No. But bro,
I'll go for Saliba.
Saliba for me. But Saliba's always having good games, bro. Look at the way he's always pocketing.
Tottenham are on top for a reason.
How to call it? What's it called?
Yeah, do you know what our reason? Do you know what our reason is?
Yeah, I'm going with
Let Mo speak first, and then we'll you know.
Most, you're not gonna say Thiago Silva.
You know what? Yeah, hey. Right now, that's we'll leave that for another day, innit? Thiago Silva to me still goes into the grades conversation. So unless
don't worry, we're in the trenches for now, but we come through, man. Don't worry.
Yeah, but wait, Bowdy, most haven't answered the question. What you going round? Come on, tell us. Who would you pick?
Van der Ven.
Nah, he said Van der Ven.
Okay, I'm sticking with my boy Saliba right now. I don't think
Saini, yeah. Who's saying
he's good, but he's not better than Saliba.
Oh, Saliba, 100%.
He's not better than Saliba. Yeah, he's not better than Saliba. I'm sorry, not right now. He has a lot to prove now.
I just want to say something about Saliba, yeah? Like, I think you guys need to calm down about that guy, yeah? Because, bro, he doesn't even start for France. He's behind Upamecano and Konate. He's good, but don't say he's world class. He's too young. I've seen Bournemouth come to Arsenal last season, pepper him around, yeah? So I just think you don't need to calm down a bit.
One minute. You
see when Bournemouth came to the Emirates, yeah? We play against low block teams with two centre backs defending all that space. We have one of our fullback inverting into the midfield, another fullback pushing up high up the line. This is why I say Saliba is a better defender, because one-on-one defending, he's better than Van der Ven, and he defends more of a space than those two do. Do you get what I'm saying?
That's the style of play. Defending.
No one in this league, no one in the league, yeah, defend that amount of space more than Gabriel.
Come on, Van Dijk's been doing that for years. Van Dijk's been doing that for years.
But you always gonna argue all day. Come on, let's make this move on, man.
That's the point I'm making.
Van Dijk's been doing that for years.
He needs to play.
Modo, that's true. Van Dijk's been doing that. Van Dijk's been doing that. That's true.
Van Dijk's been doing that. He's been doing that. So anyway,
exactly. And that's the reason why Van Dijk's been the best defender in the league, because he's been doing that. So that's what Saliba is doing. Hence why I say he's better.
I think it's too early to say Saliba's. I think it's too early to say Saliba's better than Van der Ven.
No, we say right now. We're not saying all season. We say right now. The question is right now. These 9 games, you know. Anyway, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Fine. What's your opinion?
All right.
That's why I put the question out there for everybody.
Yeah. Why did you ask this question if you're going to pick the Arsenal player?
Yo, he wants our opinion.
You know what? All these questions, they always involve. All the questions.
What about Ben White?
All the questions that you guys ask are always involving Arsenal players. Why can it not be another player apart from an Arsenal player?
If I said who is the best striker right now, everybody's gonna say Haaland, is it? I would say Haaland.
No, but you can compare Haaland to another striker. Why does it have to be an Arsenal player?
No, don't worry.
Okay, who's the best right back in the league right now?
The
first
Kyle Walker, man.
Kyle Walker, bro. Easy.
What, did you want us to say Ben White?
Man's gonna
No. I was gonna say Newcastle. I was gonna say Newcastle's right back because Kieran Trippier.
Look at what they did to him yesterday. Look at what Juan did to him yesterday.
He assists. Yeah, but